Tadagaccha dhruva bhadram te. Tadagaccha. Hare Krishna, everybody. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Krishna Prabhuji, Pranam Prabhuji.
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. आवाज क्लियर है?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
क्लियर है, ठीक है, चलेगा. तदगच्छ ध्रुव भद्रम ते.
Tadgaccha dhruva bhadram te.
भगवन्तं मधुक्षजम्.
Bhagavantam madhokshajam.
सर्वभूतात्मभावेन.
Sarvabhutatma bhavena.
भूतात्मविग्रहम्.
Sarvabhutatma vigraham.
तदगच्छ ध्रुव भद्रम ते.
Tadgaccha dhruva bhadram te.
भगवन्तं मधुक्षजम्.
Bhagavantam madhokshajam.
सर्वभूतात्मभावेन.
Sarvabhutatma bhavena.
भूतात्मविग्रहम्.
Sarvabhutatma vigraham.
तदगच्छ ध्रुव भद्रम ते.
Tadgaccha dhruva bhadram te.
भगवन्तमधोक्षजम्. सर्वभूतात्मभावेन. सर्वभूतात्मविग्रहम्. Tat, therefore, gaccha, come, dhruva, dhruva, bhadram, good fortune, te, unto you, bhagavantam, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, adhokshajam, who is beyond the concepts of the material senses, sarva bhuta, all living entity, atma bhavena, by thinking of them as one, sarva bhuta, in all living entities, Atma, the super soul, Vigraham, having form. My dear Dhruva, come forward. May the Lord always grace you with good fortune. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is beyond our sensory perception, is the super soul of all living entities. And thus, all entities are one without distinction. Therefore, begin rendering service unto the transcendental form of the Lord, who is the ultimate shelter of all living entities. My dear Dhruva, come forward. May the Lord always grace you with good fortune. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is beyond our sensory perception, is the super soul of all the living entities. And thus all entities are one without distinction. Therefore, begin rendering service unto the transcendental form of the Lord, who is the ultimate shelter of all living entities. Yes, Supriti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Purport by Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. Here, the word Vigraham, having specific form, is very significant, for it indicates that the absolute truth is ultimately the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is explained in the Brahma Samhita, Sachidananda Vigraha. He has form, but his form is different from any kind of material form. The living entities are the marginal energy of the Supreme Form. As such, they are not different from the Supreme Form, but at the same time, they are not equal to the Supreme Form. Dhruva Maharaja is advised herewith to render service unto the Supreme Form. That will include service to other individual forms. For example, a tree has a form, and when water is poured onto the root of the tree, the other forms, the leaves, twigs, flowers, and fruits, are automatically watered. The Mayavada conception that because absolute truth is everything, he must be formless is rejected here. Rather, it is confirmed that the absolute truth has form and yet he is all pervading. Nothing is independent of him. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshaya Shunyavadi Pashata Deshatarine Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Tadagacha dhruvam bhadram te bhagavantam adhokshajam sarvabhutatma vigraham. My dear Dhruva, come forward. May the Lord always grace you with good fortune. The Supreme Personality regarded beyond our sensory perception is the super soul of all the living entities. That all entities are one without distinction. Therefore, begin rendering service under the transcendental form of the Lord, the ultimate shelter of all living entities. Hare Krishna. Okay. Our audio is clear, I hope. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you. So we see it looks like we are the only fool in this universe. Even Kuvera is so learned. He's speaking so many things. and he will offer a benediction to Dhruva Maharaj. Ask what you want. And Dhruva Maharaj says, give me the benediction, I can always remember you. I can always remember the Supreme Lord. Give me that benediction. That's it. So, there are many words used in this shloka. There is one word used here, vigraham. So there is a big controversy whether the God has form or God has no form. Generally, the mass of people feel God has no form. People want to be an atheist. Because if there is no what you can say, if there is no, what you can say, if there is no police, life is great for thieves. Inherently, nobody likes to be controlled. Everybody wants to be free. Therefore, there is around the world independence movement. And the people who got a so-called freedom are worshipped, celebrated. Everybody is actually moving towards, can I have a situation of freedom? And moment some control comes, our mind revolts. Rules, regulations, nobody likes. Yeah. Discipline, bureaucracy, oof. Correct? Bureaucracy means just a web of rules and regulations. So actually it starts from there. And right till the Supreme Lord, see, most of the people today, beyond any logic and reason, without any sense or understanding, without any analysis, just love the concept God has no form. It is nothing but atheism only. Just like if I say some person is not there, I am being compared to the person who says formless, I am being truthful and honest. Many people say honestly, I don't believe in God. I tell you, that person is better than a person who is saying God has no form. At least he is honest and truthful. See, I don't believe in God, that's it. Recently we had some fellow taking oath, and when they gave him Bhagavad Gita, I said, no, I don't believe, I believe in truth. Correct? What is this? Not truth or what? What is truth? No, in the air. In love, better be honest, no? Say, I don't believe in God. Be honest. They will not say that. So it's very pleasing. It's very pleasing for the mind, because the very nature of a mind which is not advanced is no control, no rules, no regulation. And at the same time we see Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna voluntarily going under the protection of Krishna. No force. Krishna did not say, hey, you have to listen to what I am telling. Krishna did not say that. In fact, Arjuna volunteered to surrender. When Arjuna submitted what he felt from his heart that he does not want to fight a war, he's just giving an example of somebody who likes to do what he wants to do. Yeah? I don't want to fight. I like to do, I don't want to fight. What do you like? I don't want to do this war. He submitted himself like that. But then Krishna said, Arjuna, wait a minute. Krishna did not instruct Bhagavad Gita to him. So nobody will give you instruction unless you take a shelter. So it's both ways. We also refuse to go under any rules, regulation, control. And an authority, here is Krishna the authority, will not put rules, regulation, control unless somebody wants to come under that. It has to be both ways. So what is Krishna doing? He says, okay, you are thinking you'll not fight Arjuna, but it will be anarejustam, it will be uncivilized behavior. Akirti, this will cause you infamy, not fame. You'll become infamous for doing such a thing what you're planning to do. Walk away from a battlefield. Akirti karo Arjuna. Kutasta kashmalam idam. From where these unwanted thoughts have come to your mind? Anarajustam aswargam akirtim karum Arjuna. This is Arjuna, uncivilized behavior. It will not take you to Swarga, it will take you to Naraka. This kind of your so-called non-violence here. So Krishna just spoke this much and left him. He did not give him the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. He waited. And Arjuna, what are you telling Krishna? How can I throw arrows at my grandfather and my teacher? So he now recites this one. So among the various reasons he gives in the first chapter, looks like this is a prominent reason because he again repeats it. And he says, I can throw flapuja ar arisudana. Krishna, I can offer them flowers for worship. Puja I can do. But I cannot fight with them. And anyway, Krishna, you also fight with demons. Ari means enemy. You're not fighting with your own guru or teacher. You don't do all these things. You're asking me to do. He is talking friendlily. He is not surrendered to Krishna. You don't talk like a friend to your guru. So okay, I have to fight with my guru and teacher and my grandfather. Okay? And you kill only demons. Ari Sudana. Ari means enemy. You are the killer of enemies, but I am supposed to see. So the talk is very friendly and Krishna is sitting silent. He has not revealed, he has given his input. Hridaya Daurbalyam. Another point he pointed out to Arjuna, the third shloka. Arjuna, you are showing weakness of the heart. Because you are supposed to do your duty, but here you are having a problem. Correct? Hridaya Daurbalyam. Giving input is just waiting. Just imagine the kind of peace you must be having to do this. Will you do this? You have brought somebody to the battlefield. He's supposed to win the war for you. He has been trained for that. Right? He has got special weapons from Devatas. He is the one who can deliver the war to you. And you have said you will not fight. Correct? You are depending on him totally now. And here he says, I don't want to fight. At this situation, won't we be very, very angry? We'll be extremely angry. We will lose composure. But what is Krishna doing? See, he is not surrendering to me. He doesn't want to take my instructions. And Krishna is, because he's talking like a friend, Krishna is talking like a friend. Krishna is not talking like a guru. He's very peaceful. Just imagine if he can learn this thing, correct? It's really amazing. How can he be peaceful? This is the way to be peaceful. You deliver only what a person is asking. If there is no relationship, of a guru disciple, don't correct or instruct a person. Be peaceful. Correct? Depend on the Lord. You got it? Somebody comes. Say your young sister comes. You have a sister? Younger? A brother or sister? Both are there. Okay? Now, something they do wrong. Something they speak wrong. At the same time, they are not respectful to you in that situation. So as a sister or a friend, you can say, I don't feel this really good for you. And be detached. Don't get angry. Leave it. See, Krishna doesn't get angry. If this would have happened to us, we would have been very angry. Not angry. Abhi. Just like, the examination has to happen. You spent money on your younger sister. You spent money. Usko medical ke liye, entrance ke liye train kiya. And then you sent inside for examination. And you are waiting outside. And just examination is about to begin. Come. Mood nahi kar raha. I spent so many lakhs of rupees for your training. You got it? So what is the moment Arjuna refuses to fight? Look at the joke. Krishna actually took the Vanvas time and the opportunity, let him take benediction from Lord Shiva. He got one weapon, Pashupada Astra. He took out a weapon from Indra also. He got various weapons. He got very well trained. Everything was arranged. Krishna personally killed enough demons. Now remaining demons, Krishna wanted to give credit to Arjuna. Okay, you kill. He said, okay, I will not fight. That means now he said, I will not fight. He given a promise. Everything is not depending on Arjuna. And Arjuna, when he says, after the conches are also blown. Before the war, they blow the conches. Conches are also blown. And Arjuna says, Krishna, and weapons is ready to be thrown. Wait a minute. I don't know to fight either. You will get angry or not? No. At this moment, as Krishna is also noticing, he's talking like a friend. He is a friend actually of Krishna. So he's continued to talk like a friend. He's not behaving like a student. So if somebody is talking like a friend, be happy, talk like a friend. Is it something negative? Is a friend negative thing? See, we want something, the world to listen to us. Gurudev, aapke kya bachan hai? Theek hai. But that relation may not exist. Correct? Suppose somebody is a very good friend of you. Okay? And he's speaking nonsense. अरे यार मेरे को नहीं लगता है ठीक जो बोल तू ठीक है. Krishna says to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, Pragyam bhashase gatasun agatasun cha nanu shochanti pandit. Arjuna, you're talking like a learned person. Well, learned people don't speak like this. Very gentle correction. Correct? So anyway, Krishna is waiting. He's talking like a friend, he talked like a friend. And he's silent. You see, he's not getting worked up because the other person has not surrendered. Unless somebody takes a role of a student or a disciple or a son, you cannot take a liberty to instruct this is right or wrong because it will simply blow up. So suppose you imagine a relationship which does not exist, then you should become silent. It was a long time, my own classmate, he was always my friend. Then we were working in Infosys. I was practicing Krishna consciousness. He became my student. And Krishna's grace, he became a wonderful devotee also. And something like 20 years later, he called me. And he was talking to me like a friend. But he was speaking something wrong. And I tried to instruct him. Then I came on phone. I was talking to a phone. I realized the relationship of student is not there now. Relationship of friend is there. Still it is good. See, you talk different ways to a friend and different ways to a student. So Krishna also in the Bhagavad Gita very peacefully keeps talking like a friend to Arjuna till he changes the relationship. Arjuna voluntarily takes the relationship. He says, Karpanna dosho pata sabhava prichhami tvam dharma samudha chetaha yashya nishritam bruhitan me shishyasteyam sadimam tvam prapanna. Krishna, I am totally confused what is my duty today. Dharma samudaha. I don't know what's my duty. Okay? Therefore, I take your shelter. Shishyasteyam. I am now your disciple. Tam prapannam. I take your shelter. Instruct me. So similarly also, it is both ways. Arjuna took the initiative. So we should also, Prabhupada says that he came under protection of his guru. We also say, see in this assembly, when Krishna is speaking, only Arjuna was listening. But we have the assembly of the Bhagavatam as Shukmani was speaking, and thousands of sages were listening, including Parikshit. And they were listening with such eagerness that nobody even went to take a drop of water or even food for 7 days. Parikshit Maharaj was hearing with great pleasure every word Shukmani was speaking. Right? It's unimaginable what was happening. We can't even look at the eagerness. And Parikshit Maharaj is again and again asking questions. All are enjoying the discussion. And Parikshit Maharaj comes in samadhi on the Lord and leaves the body in total absorption within 7 days. And all of them are watching. What a conversation. Take care. So this is different. So voluntarily, Parikshit Maharaj came under the shelter of Shukadeva Goswami. Voluntarily, all the sages came under the shelter of Shukadeva. It is voluntary. Same thing happens. Suta Goswami is one other person listening there. He goes to another place, Naimisharanya. There, Gaya. Udhar bhi same thing happens. Thousands of sages led by Shaunaka Rishi are hearing to Suta Goswami repeat the whole Bhagavatam, and they're hearing with great pleasure. Suta Goswami did not take any notes. Koi audio recording nahi tha. He heard, just imagine, it's there in his heart with love, and he repeats out the Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Gita itself, somebody repeats, you will say is a great person. 700 shlokas, correct? If somebody is going to repeat 18,000 shlokas, he is not a human being. Yeah? It's all in his heart and is pouring out. So there is a different culture altogether. And all the sages are listening with great attention and respect. So unless there is love and respect for a speaker, we cannot listen. Just like nowadays in the modern education, the relationship is lacking. It has become more commercial. And our time, the relationship was not so bad. It reduced, and day by day, now children come home and make fun of the teacher. Relationship doesn't exist. Right? Previously, and therefore the classes are not, children don't want to sit in the class. So there is always two things needed to listen. There should be love, there should be affection, and there should be respect. Then we can listen. Otherwise, we will not like to listen. Some drama. So now, today's topic which you wanted to develop is the form. Now, as I said, mostly we like to see God as no form, because inherently we want to avoid any control. What we do not understand actually, for a small child to be without control is not intelligence, it is foolishness. Correct? It doesn't know anything. You tell him, my dear child, listen to me. I don't want to listen to you. Sometimes small children speak like, okay. Actually, it is foolishness. Without proper knowledge, without proper realization, if you try to be independent, you are only harming yourself. Correct? So the great personalities, they voluntarily go under the control of other personalities. That's the nature. Voluntarily. The nature of a Brahmana and Shudra is therefore different. The Brahmana voluntarily feels protected by association of other Brahmanas. He feels protected. But Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudras, previously even Kshatriyas, they used to have a guru. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishyas have a guru. Guru means a person with form, not in the air. Somebody told Srila Prabhupada, we're reading Bhagavad Gita, so Krishna is a guru. Prabhupada said, you cannot keep it in the air. You have to make something physical. Otherwise, again, atheism. He wants to avoid being controlled. Inherently within our heart, there is a tendency not to be controlled. We want to avoid. We don't like. But you see, the three people used to take Diksha. What is Diksha? Now, It is called Upanayana. है ना? होता है, सब जगह होता है, जनेऊ, Upanayana. But it has become more of a ritual with no meaning. एक ड्रामाबाज. ठीक है? In ISKCON also we have Diksha formally, more serious, but still it is to some extent dramabazi. Diksha actually means the person surrenders his freedom, his tendency to be free, and agrees to be controlled by another person. That is called a guru. Correct? Now, selection of guru is a person's choice, but actually he understands that it is dangerous to be without control. And he also understands, I cannot trust my mind. He needs something physical, not in the air. Just like some people say, Prabhupada is my guru. It's all in the air. It has to be physical, a living personality. Just like that's why we call the guru has to be always somebody living, somebody physical, somebody directing, controlling. Correct? It cannot be in the air. Nahi, we are a guru. But Prabhupada is my guru. Now, are you getting some direct instructions from him? Simply story. And these people actually have an inherent internal desire to become an acharya. Therefore, they don't like control. Correct? So, more advanced consciousness always means I like to be under the control of somebody. And in that respect, you have to accept form. Formlessness inherently we like, so therefore what we do, we take partially certain instructions. If you study the Shastra in togetherness, Shastra has actually always the instruction that God is Shama Sundara. Yam Shama Sundaram Achinta Guna Swarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Okay, it's clear. Such beautiful form the Lord has. Now Dhruva Maharaj saw Kuvera. Even a Devata, he has a form. It's not imaginary. But we may not be in a capacity to see the even form of the Devatas. How many of us see Kuvera? We see Indra, we see Brahma, we can't see. So even Devata's forms are not visible to us. What about the form of the Lord? Lord is totally invisible. But still, we can understand this very feature that if I have a form, how can my origin be without form? I have a form. So I have a form and personality. What is the definition of God? God means the origin. Correct? Presently they say in science God means some. This is agreed. Then everybody agrees God is there. But only thing is some class of philosophers, which includes the scientists, atheists basically. All varieties of atheists. One thing openly they say there is no God. They say God is there but he has no form. All of them, they will say God, some kind of energy. You know? And again, it is atheism. Because energy means then there is no control. No? Person means there is control. So they tend to agree and everybody is very happy. Yes. They try to use their argument something, so God has no form. But actually, if agreed that God has to exist, there is no that the God is there or not there. But if I have a form and personality, how can God have no form and personality? How can something come out of some origin? Origin has to have what all is outside it. Otherwise, it's not an origin. I have a personality. I have a form. So God is also having form and personality. Okay? So this is actually sign of intelligence. Okay. Now this form and personality directly reveals himself in Bhagavad Gita. Okay. This form and personality reveals himself. We cannot we cannot by our own power see God's form and personality. We cannot by our own power see the God's form and personality, but we can agree the form and personality exists. How we do that? Number one, the Shastra explains God has beautiful forms. Number two, we can see the logic, which if I am having a form and personality, the God also has to have a form and personality. And we see even by very nature, okay? When we is seeing in this world, just imagine everything without form, the world will be very strange. In fact, we will not be able to even enjoy the world. They say variety the mother of enjoyment. Now, suppose I give you a bouquet, all without form, very strange. There are flowers of different shapes, different colors, different smell, correct? What is life here? If everything is without form, very funny life. Okay. So what people try to do to imagine an absolute world without form, they say like that, but then they are very much attracted to the middle world of forms. What actual truth is something different. This material world is actually a reflection of the spiritual world. Just like we have a tree and we have a reflection of tree in water. If there is form in the water, in the tree the form should be better. Correct? In water what you are seeing, if you suppose see a mango in the water, a reflection, can you go and taste it? No. But if the mango in the reflection looks so attractive, how much more wonderful will be the actual mango in the tree? True? So we are in a world of reflection today. The things in this world appear to be what they are not, but you're still attracted to them because somewhere they exist in a very nice way. Like there was one person in a class, he challenged, his son had joined the temple. So he was very angry. After the class all through the class, he was not listening to the class. Like a bull, no? We could hear his sound. All classes going on, he doesn't want to listen. He is extremely angry because son has become brahmachari. His mother was happy, the boy's mother. Mother said, okay, I'm fine with it. The father did not agree to. He was like holding himself from shouting, maybe due to samskaras, otherwise not allowed the class to happen. After the class, I have a question. Yes. You are telling in the class, Vaikuntha exists, God's kingdom exists. Prove to me it exists. You are cheating all these people. We only see this world, it exists. We don't see God's kingdom existing. Now you prove to me. The person was thinking. He said, okay, you want happiness? He said, yes, I want happiness. Agree, I want happiness. See, are you getting uninterrupted happiness? No. See this son, what he has done now. I am in pain now. I am not in happiness. So why are you wanting uninterrupted happiness when you never got it in your life? That means Vaikuntha exists. Correct? Say, suppose I show you a reflection of a mango. Okay? And dekhte you have a saliva from your mouth. May not be mango. If there is langada or best variety, whatever, you may have a saliva. Children will throw saliva. Children's ko to gulab jamun dikhao, they are very, they don't hide their emotion. Once drops of saliva. Okay, that means you have eaten mango before. ठीक है ना? मैं तो आपको खाली पिक्चर दिखाया था, आपको मुंह में सलाइवा क्यों आया? और आपने छोटे बच्चे तो फेंक भी दे, मतलब खाया है, बहुत टेस्टी है, एक और दो, है ना? Fine. That if you want something, that means you had it. And here you are not getting it. Like you saw a mango reflection in the water, you jumped into the water, you swam there, up, you ate it, at the end of it, there. But what intelligence you should have? Here there was no mango, but I must have eaten mangoes before. So we see form in this world, but sometimes you may be imagining. When you see form, particular opposite sex, it's all divine form. We get attracted, bewildered. But actually the fact is sometimes the person gets sick. ठीक है ना? The same form which you are very much enamored by, something maybe pus is coming out, your mind revolts to accept this. True? Your own form, you are so attached. When there is some damage in it, suppose skin opens and the bones are visible, you cannot see that. That means there is a form which doesn't get damaged. Correct? You're understanding the point or not? All of us have same sense of beauty. Why is it so? Some people say this world is a dream. Then how all of us can have the same dream? Logical. This world is not a dream, it exists. It's not a dream, it exists. सबका एक ड्रीम नहीं हो सकता. बहुत सपना चल रहा है. अरे मूर्खों, सबका एक सपना कैसे हो गया? सबके सपने अलग होते हैं. It's not a dream, it is factual, but it is temporary. But what I am seeing, it is not actually what I am looking for. Just like you see a mannequin in a shop. Now when you see the mannequin in a shop, hey, this is such a beautiful man. But you go near, you see it's all springs and plastic. Correct? You found something attractive, but after some time you understand, actually this is not what I am looking for. This person is called a jnani. A knowledgeable person gives of sense enjoyment, understanding that actually all this is imaginations of my mind. Prajahati yada kaman sarva partha mano gatan. All the enjoyments in this world are only imaginations in the mind. It doesn't exist outside. But I am still looking for enjoyment. Atoms and electrons cannot look for enjoyment. Correct? Who's looking for enjoyment? The living entity. Even a cat goes out looking for enjoyment. Everybody wants fun. What wants fun? Electron. Today I am happy. What is happy? Proton. All nonsense. Atma is happy today. Correct? I am happy today. And I am looking for happiness. But actually, I am looking for happiness in things which actually do not have happiness. That's the only mistake. I exist. The world exists. But the way I am looking at the world, that has to be corrected. The world is not an illusion. Prabhupada says, many people say, I will reject this world. That is nonsense. World exists, you exist. Only thing you have to give up the doggish mentality that I am an enjoyer of this world. This world is not for enjoyment. This world is actually something else. I am looking at this world that I can enjoy materially in this world. It is not possible. Okay? So this requires jnana, little knowledge. The beginning of spiritual life is just like in a desert, somebody is running for water. Okay? So jnani means he understands there is no water in a desert, it's only a mirage. This is a great step. Manushyanam sahasreshu kashyat yatati siddhe. Krishna says, among thousands of people, there is one person who understands he is called Siddha. There is no enjoyment in this world. He becomes very calm, very peaceful. Correct? But still it's not everything, because he doesn't know where there is enjoyment. Like, you know there is no water in desert, but you still do not know where is water. That is the bhakta. You understand in this world, all the forms I see, there's only a duplication. Actually, just like I am seeing this form, but there's only a packet of stool, urine and bone around me. This is not my real form. It's only giving me an appearance of a form. Beauty is only skin deep, hai na? Skin utar, so this is what it is. So we know that I'm being cheated in this world. This is not what I'm looking for. But where there are real forms, that is the spiritual world. We are all actually, therefore, when you look at the mirror, ये नाक थोड़ी पतली होनी थी ना, correct? We say like that because actually in the spiritual world forms are perfect. We don't like any. Do you like old age? No. Spiritual world forms don't age. You like death? We get shocked when there is death. Spiritual world, the forms don't have any death. They are eternal, blissful forms of full knowledge. Sachidananda Vigraha. So actually, therefore, we should be intelligent enough, and therefore, now the temples are important. Why the temple? We have a tendency to put life on form, and that is why we suffer. Correct? We see Katputali, we say it has form, it has life. But actually, there is not life. We are seeing each other, we are thinking there is life. There is no life in this form. The moment somebody leaves the body, it falls on the ground, correct? It is just a covering, it's just a dress of the soul. So, we are seeing in this world of forms, we have a tendency to put life on forms. And we are not capable at this moment to see the spiritual form. The soul can see itself, but soul cannot see itself through some instrument. It has to see itself directly. Because soul has the eyes to see itself. But presently we are connected to these eyes. We are locked into these eyes because of our own desires. So we want to see the form, the spiritual form of the Lord, but we are unable to see the spiritual form of the Lord because our own limited nature. We only are seeing the physical world now. And Krishna understands this. Therefore, deities. What is deity? We all know it is come Jaipur mein milta hai, But then, when you worship with love, now deity and the Lord, there is no difference. The Lord, by His omnipotency, by His power, accepts that form. Therefore, deity is called Archa Avatara. What is it called? Archa Avatara is an incarnation. So when you worship the deity, the meditation is that Radha Krishna have now incarnated from the spiritual world and we are worshipping. Correct? It's not that we have taken this initiative. All the great acharyas established temples. Like we see in Vrindavan, the Goswamis, yesterday we were talking, they established beautiful temples. We had the Ramanujacharya establishing beautiful worship. Temple is already there, but gave the program of worship at Tirupati. Elaborate program. So we have all Madhvacharya arranged the worship of Krishna deity in Udupi, which we are going today. So the worship of deity has been encouraged by the great acharyas. Some people say God is everywhere. Yeah, if you can see that, you don't have to go to temple. Like water is everywhere, it is in the air also. If you can take water from the air, it is very easy. But we go and drink a glass of water because we cannot take it. It's not so easy. So similarly, it is not so easy to access spiritual form. To say God is everywhere is easy to speak. But God is everywhere, so He is in the temple also. But at the same time, we are not able to see He is everywhere. If you can see He is everywhere, you don't have to go to a temple. But when you go to a temple, what happens? There is a form there. Because it is served by devotees with love, the Lord manifests Himself there. Okay? And now when you pay obeisance, when you see the form of, say, marble, what is your tendency? To put life on that. But actually the joke is, that deity is living already, because Krishna has accepted that form. You got it? So then what happens? You are offering prayers. Now when we see somebody is doing arti, what generally we feel? Upfront, the pujari form is living, deity is just a stone. Correct? Patthar puja Bhagwan mile to main puju pahad. So that kind of attitude we have. When pujari is doing puja, we say, Pujari, I am seeing. Pujari, how is he doing? How is his form? Beautiful or not beautiful? How is he wearing chadar? We focus on that. And deity, some stone there decorative. We feel like that. But actually reverse is true. Why? Pujari's form is just a packet of stool and urine. Okay? Actually the Lord which is living there. Therefore, even you offer prayer, You're offering prayer, you're not even speaking, it's in the mind. He can even hear your mind because he's sitting in your heart also. You're offering prayer. Can anybody in temple offer prayer loudly? Bhagwan ye de dena. Nobody says. We are offering prayer within the mind, correct? Everybody offers prayers in the mind, but he's listening. Sometimes they go to temple, the pujari will ask also. So they give some dakshina, he will ask also. But generally, we offer prayers in the mind, okay? So the form of the Lord is actually deity, Archa Avatara, facilitates worship of the Lord. And we get a chance to be trained. See, why deity worship, the worship of the forms? What happens? If you're reading Shastra, that is theoretical. But when you are worshipping the deity, it is practical. You are bowing down, you are offering flowers, है ना? It's practical. You are offering आरती. ये बोलना बहुत आसान होता है, करना मुश्किल होता है. So when you are practically doing service to the Lord, you can actually see how much love I'm having in the heart. When you're offering a bhoga to the Lord, you say, "My Lord, please accept it." You can actually feel, do I have any love for the Lord? Okay? So in this way, there is a world of form and formless, and the fact is God has a form. And beginning of theism begins when we accept God as form. All this kind of narrations that God has no form is actually atheism indirectly. Prabhupada gives a joke of this. You say some person doesn't exist. Fine. But you say some person exists, but he has no head, he has no legs, he has no hand. Is it puja or insult? It's actually insult. Why? If I tell somebody, "E andhe, e behre, e lule, e langde," is it worship or insult? It's insult, no? Better say it doesn't exist. So people in the spiritual realm today, most of the philosophers say God has no form. Actually, when they do puja, they are not throwing flower, they're throwing stones at God. It's insult. Oh God with no eyes, indirectly. Eh andhe, eh behre, you're worshipping or you're insulting. It's insulting. It's an insult. So actually, this is a strange conception, because Kali Yuga is the age of foolishness. And as people are becoming more and more foolish, they tend to accept this, that God has no form. But the fact is, God has beautiful form, okay? And which is very attractive. And as we get introduced to the God's spiritual form, then we lose attraction for the forms of this world. See, if I give you something better, then you lose something which is not so attractive. Okay? So when we look at the beautiful deities which are worshipped in the temple, the heart becomes satisfied. Another thing, important thing is that, suppose after some time I show you a picture of Radha Govinda, our deity. You say, yeah, that's your Mangalore deity. That means what? How you are able to remember? That means wo chavi hirday mein chap gayi hai. In your heart the image has come. That's great advancement. See how wonderful it is. The God's image is there in your heart. That's why you said it is the same temple, correct? So that is the multiple benefits of having the worship of the form. Hare Krishna. In fact, there are something more we can speak. There was one, some other day. Hare Krishna, a lot of sound is there. Construction people we held for half an hour. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you.
Pranam, Prabhuji. Thank
Thank
you
you,
very much.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat
Hare
pranam.
Hare Krishna
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji.
Dandavat
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Sagar Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Pranam
Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Dhanyavad.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Dhanavad
Rama,
Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama.
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Rama
Rama.
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Krishna
and
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama.
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Rama. Rama Rama. Hare
Hare
Hare.
thank
Krishna.
you
Rama
everybody.
Rama. Hare Hare.
Vancha
Hare Hare.
kalpata
Hare
rubhascha
Rama.
kripa